Welcome to the Girl Gang. I'm Katrina Gardner of Katrina and Create.
And I'm Dominique Goyette-Connerty of Evergreen Marketing. On this show, we're going to chat with women business owners in Massachusetts and those who support local women in business.
Because girls don't just want to have fun. They also want to sell real estate.
They want to open a brewery.
They want to teach others to invest in the stock market.
They want to take stunning photos, plan lavish parties, and help people recover from injuries.
Girls just want a podcast.
What can we say?
We're girls.
Alrighty, we're back again.
Hi, guys.
Welcome back once again. Third week in a row. Girls Just Wanna, the podcast. Again, I'm Dominique. We didn't even introduce ourselves last episode.
Whoopsie.
That's okay. I'm Dominique.
I'm Katrina.
And yeah, this is our show.
Girls just want to
do all the things. Girls just want a podcast. Girls just want
to plan parties, go to parties. That's
all
what we're
the
going to
things
talk about today.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting.
So we're back, third week in a row.
We're back. Have you been?
Still busy.
Still busy.
I'm going to probably say it every week.
Uh-huh.
Not as a flex. It's not cool to be busy 24/7. But, you know, we're working. We're doing all the things. Hopefully I'll be less busy soon.
Yeah.
I'm instructing. I mentioned in the first episode I'm a kickboxing instructor.
Yeah.
I usually work 2 nights a week. I teach 4 classes a week. And tomorrow, so we're recording this. This is going to be a few weeks earlier than when you see it, but we're recording this on a Friday, and I'm covering for one of my friends tomorrow. She teaches Saturday morning, so I'm going to get up at 5 a.m. and go to the kickboxing studio by 6 a.m. to teach. So thoughts and prayers for me. It's very early.
It's a no for me.
I'm like excited, and as soon as I'm there, I love it, and
Right.
It's like so energetic, and I have this bubbly like personality on the headset. But it's a lot. I'm just thinking about waking up that early on a Saturday, and I don't know how she does it every week.
I did used to do my workouts in the morning before my wedding. I did like a 6-week challenge with a local gym.
Oh, yeah. We do that.
It was nice. I mean, the guy has like a marketing background, so he would always use these like promotional, like, pay X amount of dollars for this challenge. If you win, you get your full refund. Sure. I'm like, I'm getting married. Let's do it. And I was getting up at like 5 for a 5:30 a.m. like boot camp.
Wow.
3 times a week. And I completed the challenge. And then what he does is he's like, here's your money back, or
roll it into a membership. Yeah, you did.
And
did you do it?
I did. Yeah. And I was a member for like a year.
I did the same thing one time.
Yeah. It was great. Yeah.
You have something else exciting coming up this weekend, right? Is it this weekend or next weekend?
Yeah. Tomorrow I'm going to the Hanover Theater. So
love that for you. So I'll be working and you'll be chilling.
Yeah. So I did like a Instagram ad purchase through the Hanover Theater for tickets.
Interesting.
And it was late one night, and I'm scrolling through
as
Instagram.
one does.
Right.
As one does every night, late at night, doom scroll.
Hanover knows me so well because it was like the Little Woman musical. I didn't know that the Little Woman had a musical option, but it was coming to Worcester, and I love the Little Woman.
So you ate that up.
Yeah, my mom and my sister love it too. Like, we've always been a big fan of the story of the movies. So I bought the tickets for a Christmas gift for me and my mom and my sister. So we're having a girls' day, and we're going out to eat beforehand at Nuovo, which is one of my favorite restaurants in Worcester.
Delicious.
Mm-hmm. So yeah,
that's what's happening.
I am drinking and eating and enjoying
life
theater tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And you're waking up early and sweating.
Mm-hmm.
Although I might go to a play gym tomorrow in the morning. So, and the last time I did that, I almost broke my butt on a trampoline.
You're like on a trampoline, like, oh, this is kids' work. Just kidding. This is a full workout.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll get you.
Yep.
Well, I love that for you. Here we are, ready to bring in our second guest. How we feeling?
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited. So Stefanie Silva is our next guest, our guest for this week, and she is a very close friend of mine. I sometimes refer to her as my soul sister. I just feel like we're like connect. The face. No.
Excuse me?
I'm sorry. Well, sorry, but I did meet her before I met you. I've known her longer.
I guess we've technically never considered ourselves soul sisters.
No,
we're
we've considered ourselves just about everything else.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine.
Yeah, she's my, I guess, soul sister. Love her. 12 out of 10. She's amazing. Wonderful person. And so I'm really excited to have her on. We actually used to work together full time, but I'm sure we'll somewhat talk about that in this segment. So without further ado,
let's do it.
Let's bring her in. Here we are, our favorite friend, Stefanie, Stef Silva, my soul sister, as I introduced her earlier. Yes. Thank you so much for joining us. Our second guest ever. It's happening.
I'm so excited to be here. You have no idea.
I am really happy to hear that because you and I are biffles.
Yep.
Best friends for life. And haven't seen you in a hot second. We've been busy. You've been busy.
Life's been lifing, but in a good way. And, sometimes when you're so busy, but yet you can still maintain those friendships and connections, it's almost like the time, you don't know how long it's been.
Yeah, I actually don't, though.
I know.
I actually don't. I mean, we text here and there and Instagram DM back and forth as one does.
It's one of those friendships where, like, you get back together and it's just...
like you lost no time at all.
Yeah. Those are the best, honestly.
I can't believe I used to see you every day, though, and now I, see you once every few months.
I know.
Well, anyways, Stef Silva.
Here we are.
Owner of Silva Socials Events, correct?
That is right, yes.
That's the one. Why don't you tell us a little about yourself and the biz?
Yeah.
The biz.
Yeah. So, Silva Social Events is an event planning company that grew out of COVID, honestly. I have always been someone who loved throwing parties. Like, I was even like the little kid that was like, "Oh, set the table." Who says that, right? Like, and I was like, right. Like, I was like, I'll go get a tablecloth. Like, I just always wanted things to look nice. I always wanted to set a scene. So I always did parties. I always wanted to bring people together. It was my number one goal. And I felt a really big call right before COVID to maybe do it on my own, but you got bills to pay.
Yeah.
Health insurance, right?
Sure do.
How did you, where does that come from if you're not employed?
Right.
Beats me. Let me know if you find out.
So when COVID actually hit, and at that time I was working at a hotel doing events, and people were coming to me secret, on the down low, hey, I want to have a party, but I know, people can't be together, but, let's do it. So I was calling them, safe events. And
speakeasies.
Yes, in the backyard, nobody knows. And, and I got the idea of why don't I just start actually charging for these? It was always a friend and family deal, but random people were reaching out to me, and it was I should actually become a little bit more official with this. Yeah. And it grew from that, and here we are in 2024.
Love that. And so you do all the events?
I do all the events. So, call me crazy, but I love weddings.
Crazy. No.
I do. I love weddings. I won't say I prefer them, but weddings are my jam. I could go to a wedding every day.
Yeah. What's funny is when I was freelance photography, I started with wedding photography, and it just made me not want to get married.
That's really funny. Oh,
and then she did anyways.
I did.
Okay.
No, but it did teach me the parts of weddings that I really cared about and didn't care about. I didn't have a bridal party because I was no need. Just, I don't need to have all the stress of not that my friends aren't great, but it's just how many do I choose and which ones and blah, blah, blah. And it's just headache, don't need it, and it's that's how I knew I wanted just a 50-person wedding. It's I do not want it to be a 500-person and inviting all my second cousins and stuff, because it's just, so that was how working with weddings affected me, where it was just there's just so much, and you see so many different emotions and people and issues and but I didn't have a wedding planner or anything like that, and that
first mistake.
It was a challenge.
When did you get married? No,
I know. No, it was 2018, and I was it's only 50 people. I can do it myself. And then the morning of the wedding, my justice of the peace that I hired was I'm sick.
No.
So she did have a replacement for me, and it worked out fine.
Yeah.
The replacement.
Go ahead.
I think she mispronounced my name.
That sounds about right.
And she did also forget to tell everyone, please be seated.
No, that's my number one pet peeve. I've yelled it from the back before. I've yelled it. You can be seated. And then I was like, who's this chick? I'm like, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Stands
So
for
I
the
didn't even
entire
I didn't notice during the ceremony because I'm just
Of course, right.
in the moment.
Yeah.
getting married to the love of my life.
Oh, no big deal.
But then I'm like watching it
every day.
back, and I'm like, oh shit! Like these poor people. Grandma, I'm so sorry.
Oh, sweet grandma.
Oh
So-
my God. You also had an issue too, right? I think you were telling this to me in a car ride a couple weeks ago. Didn't your husband's like birth certificate or something
Oh,
or
yeah.
something was left at home and you were getting married in New Hampshire?
Yeah.
And you were like, well, shoot, if only we remembered that.
Well, yeah. So what had happened was we were going to do our marriage license thing, which you have to do 3 months before or something like that.
It's a good time frame, yep.
So we're getting married in New Hampshire. We had to go to New Hampshire to do the license stuff.
Yes.
And he asked his mom, like, hey, can I have my birth certificate? And she's like, yeah, here you go. But she gave him a copy, a photocopy.
Yeah.
We're just like dumping all these horror, just absolute horror stories.
getting
For,
So that was one.
you're like, it's fine, I'm just shaking.
I also wasn't going to hire music entertainment, but then people convinced me that I should. And so I hired like some guy off of Thumbtack, and he was very nice. Didn't listen to anything I told him to do. Like, I'm like, this is my no playlist. Like, please don't play Jesse's Girl because my husband's name is Jesse.
Okay.
And like, that just seemed
We don't need it.
weird.
Cliche.
Yeah.
And then my mom's like, can you play Jesse's Girl? Next thing, it's like the song that's playing.
How dare you?
I know. And then, like, I just had all these requests that didn't happen. I had sent him my first song, but it was like a 3-minute, like, live recording. It was a Jason Mraz song that, like, wasn't on an album. So I'm like, can we trim this? I didn't have the tech to do it myself. I'm like, but can you, like, let me know if you can trim this to like a minute or a minute and a half tops. Otherwise, I don't want to use this song. And then he's like, yeah, no problem. And then we're dancing to our first song. And I'm like, it just won't stop.
Like, and that's the most awkward part because you're just like,
Right. I'm like,
yeah.
we didn't want this. So,
Oh,
yeah, I had a
girl.
lot of mistakes
Yes,
that
yeah.
hiring a planner
could
someone-
have solved, probably.
1,000%.
Or could have predicted.
Yes.
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 Why don't you tell us, if you're comfortable sharing, are there other like horror type stories like this that just make you like cringe to think about?
You know what you know what's interesting though is, and you, because like you said, you were somewhat in the industry, or you had experience in that. I am still surprised to this day how many people don't know normal wedding etiquette. Like even people that are getting married.
That's probably me. So
Sure.
I think I've told you, I've never been to a wedding. Never been. I'm 25. I've never been to a wedding.
Crazy.
I'm going to my first wedding in a couple months, and I am part of the bridal party. And I wouldn't say I'm nervous, but I already don't know what to expect. And I
Yeah.
feel like this is going to be a different type of wedding, maybe than like what maybe other people. I don't know. And so I'm
Okay.
just. I mean, tell me the wedding etiquette because.
Well,
please prepare me.
Yeah, I mean, like number one, too, like who to invite, right? And then also like not feeling the pressure to like have to do everything. Like I feel like when I talk to couples, they're like, well, like, I have to have all of my best friends in your wedding. I'm like, they're gonna actually thank you when you tell them that you just want them to be their guests. Like you, like you're like, you know what? Can you just come and hang out and have fun?
And like wear whatever you want. Like,
Yes. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. We still celebrated beforehand. I mean, a lot of them were coming from like out of town, so I was like, like let's go out. We went to the winery beforehand, but like, I'm like, I don't know. It just seemed like it was a lot.
Yeah.
So-
There's a lot of like social pressure that couples take on that I really try to release for them in the planning process.
I
Like,
love that.
let's
Yeah.
not forget you
your
too.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, don't let these like social norms of
That's
like, oh,
great.
well, you have to do it this
You
way.
don't.
Your bridesmaids have to be
Especially
wearing
with
this.
social
things like
media
that.
Oh,
has
it's the
really
worst.
done a number on the weddings, and
Yes.
people feel like they need to compete or do the same thing, or it gives them ideas. So I bet that that's something that you have to, have those conversations about like what's the best for this individual couple.
Yeah, and pricing is the hardest one around that because that's why I have like a love and hate relationship with like Pinterest or even Instagram because people be like, I want this, and I'm like, that's beautiful, and that is $12,000.
Yeah, like the floral
right.
arches and stuff.
I did see a post on Facebook recently. Someone in a group I'm in was like, "Oh, I want this. It's like this beautiful balloon arch. Like tons of balloons. Oh, I want something like this, but someone quoted me, you know, $10,000 or whatever. My budget's $200. Oh. And someone was like, they were like, well, what do you think I could get for a $200 budget? And someone zoomed in on one balloon.
Yes.
This.
Yes.
Awesome. Yes. That's it.
I was thinking of you. Yes. I was like, when the client comes to you with just absolutely unrealistic expectations.
Yeah, it is. It's interesting. And, you know, I just try to be, you know, deliver it softly and
You're
kindly.
probably better at that. Yeah. I'd be like, are you stupid?
Well, when I go home, I'm like, oh my God, what? How is that possible?
And that's when she calls me, and then I say it for her.
Yeah.
I'm like, are they dumb?
I'm just going to forward you over.
I'm so judgmental.
But I guess like that is where I'm still like shocked that there's still so much confusion and like, so I just try to guide folks and couples through that as much as I can. Yeah.
Are you seeing a lot more, because, you know, if you're doing weddings the most, are you seeing a lot more like brides and I guess grooms wanting to kind of like stray from what's norm? You know, are there certain things that they're like, you know, we're just like not going to do that.
Yeah.
Like, that's just not us.
Yes and no. Yes. I think with the tradition, especially in terms of like where people are getting married. So like the traditional sort of like hall or hotel, those are like long gone.
Interesting.
Yeah. People want a barn. They want outside. And listen, I love to be outside, but we're in New England and we get like 4 days.
Yeah.
Okay. So
out of the whole year.
Out of the whole
like it's just remembering all of my wedding red flags. It was drizzly. We did get a tent. We did.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do remember. So Stef and I actually originally met because we worked together full time at 2 jobs ago, whatever. And she was in events there. And I remember you saying at lunch one day, you had, I think, a wedding that weekend that was coming up. And you were saying something about like, oh, it's going to be outdoor. And I was like, oh, you don't like outdoor events? Like, I love an outdoor event. If it's nice and doing, like, as soon as it's spring, summer, fall, if you're inviting me to something, even dinner, and we're not sitting outside, I'm not coming. Like,
notes.
If that
noted,
literally, if that restaurant doesn't have outdoor seating, you can guarantee I won't be there. Because if it is even nice for a split second, I'm not sitting indoors. And I just remember being like, wait, like, you don't.
And I was probably so passionate about it, and I was like, no.
Outdoor events, and you were like, I do, but it's like logistically,
it's a nightmare.
It's probably,
and I never had thought about it from the perspective of the event planner, who's like, and then the wind is flying everywhere, and then this is wet, and the bride's stepping in mud, and I'm just like, okay, you're right. Like, as an attendee, I've been selfish, but I can see why that would be super stressful and just like a disaster waiting to happen.
It's probably really great if the venue has options.
Yes.
You know, if it turns out that it's... I work with a client that does venues, and they once had a... did I say does venues? Does weddings.
Same.
Caught that. Anyway, they had an October wedding that there was a blizzard. You know, and it's like you wouldn't have expected that. But luckily they have indoor alternatives. And that's probably something that you talk to people about too.
I do. And just to like be like super transparent that like, listen, like that, and that's why outdoor stuff is so stressful to me, because I'm like, I can't tell you what it's going to be like. Like, and we can look at the weather app every single day leading up to this point, but then we're going to wake up and we're going to get what we're going to get. So yeah, I'm like, let's just be prepared for anything. And
the way you envision it in your head isn't always how it's going to turn out. So be prepared for that reality. Fun thing, and I did warn my friend that I was going to mention this on the podcast. So I just referred one of my friends who's getting married in the fall to Stefanie. And here's how it happened. My friend has been engaged for over 1.5 years now. She and her boyfriend, who turned fiance, they got engaged in October of 2022. So now here we are in March of 2024. Okay. They get engaged in October of 2022. They plan a wedding for October of 2024. So you got a 2-year engagement. Yeah. She's texting me. I can't, because she's going to watch this and die. She's texting me a couple months ago, like, what do you think about this color? What do you think about that? Like, what do you think about these colors together? Like, I go, you haven't chosen colors for your wedding yet? Mind you, I've never been to a wedding.
Right.
So, like, I'm just like, but at least I know. Yeah. of all people, even either, that's like got to be one of the first things
like
you do.
Somewhere this is on an early timeline.
Yes. So we're, nearly at this point, a year and a half into the engagement. She doesn't have colors picked out. She's not doing a bridal party. She's having her sisters stand next to her. So that's great. So, no one's worried about like ordering the right dresses or whatever. But I was just like, ma'am, you don't have colors. She's like, well, I like have like an idea in my head. Like I kind of want like, orange and like blue. And I'm just like, which orange? Which blue? You can't just like, it's a specific color. You're a designer. You get it. Like,
you're texting a color wheel and you're like, pick it out now.
I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. So she's like sending me ideas from Pinterest. And I just go, girl, you need a wedding planner. And she says to me, I crap you not. She says to me, like a book or a person?
Oh.
Like the planner.
That's really.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Right.
And I was like,
or like
the
person.
movie.
Right.
It's Jennifer Lopez. Right? Like, do I need Jennifer Lopez? No. I was like, girl, you need Jesus. But first, let's get you Stefanie. Like, I was like, so here's Silva social events. Because I was like, you need someone who's gonna like, no offense, like help you get your shit together. Because like this wedding's coming up hot, and you need the colors.
When I got engaged, I had everything figured out. Like after 2 weeks.
Yeah. This wedding that I'm going to for the first time for my other friend in May. I think she picked out everything before she even got engaged. Like she knew what she wanted, and then she got engaged. She's like, "Here's what we're doing."
Yeah.
So I get that to each their own. For each person, it's different. I don't like. I'm not shaming her for not thinking about it, but I was just like, okay, you're gonna be the type of girl who needs a planner.
But you need to think about it now.
Now it's time. You had the year and a half to just be engaged, and now the wedding is coming up. The date has been set for so long.
Yeah. And there does get to a point where it's like, oh, you're in good shape. Yeah, you're doing good. It's okay. We can talk about that later. To when it's like, oh my gosh, if you don't make a decision or order something now, like it's not going to be here for your wedding.
Yeah. There's also everyone wants to do like the DIY backyard weddings where it's like
Hold on, she's itching again. Hold on.
the number of decisions that have to get made is insane versus, if you go to like a venue and it's like, okay, they'll just like take care of some of those things.
I love that you just said that, and thank you, because I've had many of conversations, and I have one this year, and I'm like, all right, what about trash barrels? What about like and they're like, like little like details that
I thought about doing a backyard wedding and at my dad's house because he has huge backyard. I was like, I'm gonna need to get porta potties because they only have like their
I was just thinking
water. One bathroom. So then I was like, no thanks.
Right.
Never mind. We're good. But
That's
it's like
crazy.
Everything you have to choose is just insane. Getting a dance floor, unless you want people dancing on the dirt.
It's crazy.
It's a lot.
It is a lot.
Your backyard grass is just torn up for the next 5 years.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And then I think that's what happens too, is people think that backyard wedding cheap, but you have to get all of these things.
Oh yeah.
And I'm wondering if you've had experience with like small budgets that you're working with versus like large budgets that you're working with, and what that difference is like.
Yes, it is. And I love to say that I like to like ball on a budget. I am all about it. I respect budgets.
She has coined the term, to interrupt you, because it's amazing. Bougie broke.
Bougie broke.
And I said to her, she told me this like 2 years ago, and I was like, put it on a shirt.
I love it.
Bougie broke. I was like, that is so Stef Silva.
Thank you so much.
Love it.
Yeah, because listen, it's out there, and you just have to be creative, right? Because like anywhere we can go and get the most expensive things, but there's also a fine line. Like you can't just order things on Amazon and be like, it's gonna look good, right? Because it's sometimes, most of the time, it's not going to. But I like to be bougie broke, and I like to find those things that aren't so expensive but look it and help my clients with their budget and make their little dreams come true. But I've worked with a very small budget. I just have to be honest with them. As I said, when people get engaged, they are so excited and they have all these ideas, and I love that, but I try to take it and just bring them down a little bit to where they need to be.
You have Lamborghini aspirations with, I don't even know, a Toyota budget.
Right.
We're not working with much here.
No.
So we've talked a lot about weddings in the last couple minutes. Other events that you like to do, or do you have a favorite event that you've done before that you're like, this is the penultimate event?
Oh gosh. So I do baby showers, bridal showers. Big birthdays are always really fun. I just did my sister's 40th this past in the summer.
We love Amanda Salmon.
Shout out
Shout out Amanda Salmon, because you're definitely watching this.
Yeah, of course she is.
Girls girl.
Yeah. And when she comes back on this coast, she'd love to be a guest.
Okay.
I'm already confirming that. Anyway.
Hi, Amanda, call me. Steph will send you my number.
Confirmed.
But you have my Instagram DMs, so it's
done. It's done. It's hard to pick. It's hard to pick. I mean, I'll be honest, baby showers are tough because there's just only so much you can do. Like you just gotta come in and people want to see you open gifts. People don't want to open gifts anymore. Mm-hmm. So I like to try to think of different ways to be creative with those. But, I love my weddings. Mm-hmm. I can't help it.
Love that for you. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. Before we end, we are doing this thing. We're trialing it. We'll see how well it works out. Okay. But it worked with the first guest. We are obviously in the spirit of supporting other women-owned businesses. Yes. That's why you're here. That's why we're here. Girl gang. You're a girl's girl. We're a girl's girl. Other women-owned businesses that you want to shout out or that you support regularly?
Oh, I love that. Yes. So I think there's space for us all.
Absolutely.
And there's room at the table for all of us. And I wouldn't be at this table or really in the event industry if it wasn't for my girl gang.
She even brought us a little table gift.
I have to.
Because she's an event planner.
I'm an event planner. Yeah. It's part of the vision. So I want to shout out two if I can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so Infinity Events.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so Aisling, she is someone who I had, reached out to early on in my career. She's been giving me some great advice. She's incredible in what she does. So shout out to Infinity Events. And then Spiritually Fabulous. Michelle Menman is the owner of that. She is an event planner. She does incredible events. She's got a ton of other work under her umbrella. So Spiritually Fabulous on Instagram, Facebook. Go check her out.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. We love that. I love that you picked two other event planners.
Yes. We all learn from each other and we all need each other.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Love that. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming. It was so good to see you.
This is so fun. Appreciate it.
We loved having you as our second ever guest.
I could talk about this for like 5 minutes.
I know, we could.
Same.
Yeah.
I know.
I think we're going to have that issue with almost every episode. Like, we have some really good guests lined up.
And maybe I'll come back after wedding season, and then I'll have some, really good stories.
Yes. We'll just do, a wedding season, a wedding horror story episode.
That's it.
We'll be all of the names and locations have changed
yes. And I'll look a lot different. I'll have a lot more bags under my eyes, and I'll be like,
she comes in wearing sunglasses.
Yes. It'll be mid-November. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But I'll be ready.
Oh my goodness. Well, we'll link to all your stuff so people can find you in the show notes. Go give Steph a follow, and if you need an event planned, she's your girl.
Hit me up. Yeah.
Girls just wanna plan awesome events.
Go to fun parties.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks, ladies.
Thank you so much. All right, we'll see you next week on the pod.
We are back with our favorite segment.
Heart It or Hate It.
Heart It or Hate It.
If you didn't listen to the first episode, Heart It or Hate It is ultimately Love It or Hate It, except we say heart it because we're social media girlies, so double tap.
Yeah.
Double tap on these things. It's a random list of things in the Notes app on our phone and related to all different sorts of things. Work, not work, personal, not personal, I don't know. A bunch of stuff. And Katrina and I are supposed to just rapid fire, read them off to each other. We do our best. And we either heart it or we hate it in the moment. So, Katrina, you get us started this week. What do you got?
I'm starting with heart it or hate it, email newsletters.
So I'm...
Rapid fire.
Heart it. Next, no. Heart it because I do these as part of my job and for a living, and I totally believe in the power of email marketing. But don't overdo it. Do not send me 3 emails a day. Absolutely not. That's it. What about you?
I don't know if I have an answer.
Okay, well,
I think
that's kind of the game.
My answer is hate it.
Why?
With an asterisk, just because they're annoying, and then I end up
that's fine,
trying to unsubscribe because then you end up getting a bajillion. But no, hate
that's fine. Hate it. We did pretty good with the rapidity. Is that a word? With the quickness, the brevity of that segment, of that one little whatever.
Okay. Moving on.
We were quick until I tried to explain that we were quick. Okay, let's see what I have. I'm going to say cold DMing. Heart it or hate it?
Hate it.
I hate it too. Okay, so we're on the same page here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't cold DM me. I'm not going to answer.
Please no.
If you don't know me, don't talk to me.
It's an immediate no.
Sorry. I don't care how networking was done in the olden days or whatever. Don't come through if you don't know me. Sorry. Mm-hmm. The end. Next.
Heart it or hate it. ChatGPT.
This is controversial.
I heart it.
Can I play a skip on this one? Uno reverse. No. I guess heart it. I don't really heart it or hate it. I'd say I'm neutral.
Yeah.
I will, for everyone who's out there listening, this is the age of AI, artificial intelligence. If you don't know what ChatGPT is, well, Google it. I don't know if you've been living under a rock, but AI is a helper. It's not a creator.
I also think it's here to stay. Like,
well, it is.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly. But don't think that it's going to do your entire job for you and you're just going to get off, like...
Same.
So
and the
easily.
People saying, like, it's going to take our jobs. I saw the meme today on LinkedIn. It's like AI taking our graphic design jobs, and it's all those, like, handshaking
The
memes.
17 fingers.
Right. It's like, we're fine. We're good.
Yeah. I mean, it's helpful, but when people... I mean, you and I talk all the time. We see it every day on social media when people do it for captions and stuff like that, and you can tell because they didn't make any edits.
Embrace the symphony of
flavors.
Add the rocket ship emoji.
Yeah. So many things that like ChatGPT just uses all the time, and you can tell when people are using it and they're not giving the right prompts. They're not editing after they get whatever ChatGPT spits out. It's bad. It's bad content. It's bad writing if you don't know how to use it.
Yeah.
So that's ChatGPT. Let's go 2 more. I'm going to say co-working. Heart it or hate it.
Oh, I heart it. I invite you to co-working all the time.
I think I hate it. I think I hate it. And
still
like,
invite
even though
you.
I love you, even though I heart double tap you, I think I hate co-working. It's not that I don't like being with you. It's that I don't actually get any work done.
Yeah.
It's like I might as well go back to working in an office 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Full time. Because
it can be tricky to actually get work done.
It's disruptive. And also because we like don't see each other in person that much, except now that we do this. You know, we just chit-chat kind of the whole time. Like I'm trying to get work done, but I'm not.
Yeah. I always have to, if I know I'm co-working that day,
Yeah. You have to actually do work ahead of time.
I plan out my work. Like the few times that I've done it, it's like, all right, I'll do like photo editing today, which I wasn't necessarily going to do beforehand, but I can like, you know, edit photos without having to think about it versus writing social media captions. I cannot co-work and do that at the same time. So yeah, but I love it.
Well, I'm gonna hate it.
I like going out.
You don't love it, you heart it.
Heart it. Double tap on the co-working. Come join me. I like to co-work at Fuel. I like to
On Grove Street.
on
Shout
Grove
out Nilu
Street.
again.
I like to co-work at Acoustic Java, Cake Shop Cafe, which is currently Taylor Swift themed for the month.
We love that.
So yeah.
All right, hit us with our last one. What do we have?
All right.
Final heart it or hate it of the day. Make it a good one.
Heart it or hate it. TikTok Shop.
I don't know because I'm going to go with heart it for now because I've only ever ordered off of it once. And for the listeners, it was for Katrina. I bought her one of the things I got her for Christmas was a Diet Coke scented candle. And it comes in a reusable, which is so fitting for today's episode, but it comes in an old Diet Coke can, and the candle itself, like the wax, is Diet Coke scented, and it smells just like a crispy Diet Coke.
Yes.
And it came on time, and like I got one for my mom too. Like I bought 2 from the same lady, and it came on time. Everything was fine. It smelled delicious. I wanted to drink it, and I gifted it to Katrina, and as far as I know, she loved it. So I have no complaints so far, but I have not tried ordering literally anything else.
I've ordered, okay, I'm going to say heart it. I've had some issues with it, but TikTok is probably nicer to the buyers than the sellers.
The creators, yeah.
You know, like
That sounds about right.
poor creators, because there was one thing that I bought, which is a Bluey Taylor Swift mashup sweatshirt, and it's amazing. but it didn't ship on time. And I was like, oh, this is supposed to ship within a certain amount of days. And TikTok was like, immediate refund. No questions asked. Here's your refund. It showed up like 2 days later.
Love it.
And it showed up in its little like Etsy package. And I was like, oh, no, I feel bad. Like, because, you know, she didn't get her money. So that was kind of weird. And then I tried to buy the viral crisscross chair. I don't know if you get ads for that.
yes. Oh my gosh.
So I got an ad that it was $40. And I'm like, done. Like, I'm
Sold.
buying it. And then I got an email that it was delivered. And I'm like, nope. So I told TikTok, and I'm like, I don't have it. And they're like, immediate refund. Here's your money back. And I'm like, okay,
did you end up
thanks.
getting the chair?
No.
Okay.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. All right.
Because this one I'm pretty sure is not coming from a small business, so I don't feel as bad
Okay.
if it shows up. But these jeans, I bought these jeans off of TikTok Shop. They're the best.
So basically you do all your shopping on TikTok Shop now.
I do.
Have you lit the Diet Coke candle yet?
No, I'm saving it for a special day.
Okay. We love delayed gratification.
It's also part
Save
of
it
my
for your
desk
birthday or something.
decor.
Yeah. Well, it has to be in all the pictures. It's your personal brand.
Right. Exactly.
Love that for you. All right. Well, that was Heart It or Hate It for this week.
Hate it.
Our favorite segment where we just either love shit or hate shit.
Where we rapid fire.
We rapid fire. Anyways, thank you so much for listening to this episode, dear listener or watching.
Yeah.
And I guess we'll see you next week.
See you next week with another great guest, another rapid fire.
Another rapid fire, Heart It or Hate It.
Yeah.
If you have suggestions for the Heart It or Hate It, if you have something you think is controversial, shoot us an Instagram DM.
Yeah. For sure.
You should be following us on Instagram. And yeah.
It's a pretty exciting place.
All right. We will see you next week. Later, ladies.
Later, ladies.